So, do you have options? I know, what a question, right? Okay, well, let's talk about that, okay? Because this comes up all the time. And when for example, I met somebody last night and we were talking about that. And just about people in general and different areas and how people show up in relationships. I'm always talking about this, right? And it's like some people are so insecure. And I never really experienced this, I guess, because I was married for so long to one person. I did experience, since losing Travis, I have experienced insecurities in relationships. And I especially get a whole lot of I know you have options. I get that. I actually had this man who, I guess he was trying to hit on me yesterday. It was at the gas station, but it was earlier in the day, okay? Because I got hit on a couple times yesterday. But one time, the time I'm speaking about was like earlier in the day, around 11 or 12, like 11 a.m., 12, or something like that. It was before we started filming yesterday. Anyway, the first guy at this gas station, it was at Quick Trip actually. He was like, "You're beautiful," whatever he said. He said something. He said, "I know you're married, right?" And I said yes, just because I wasn't attracted to him. Like, there was no attraction, right? But anyway, I just said, yeah. He said, "Well, I hope he's treating you right." And I just smiled, okay. And then he said, "And I know you got options or whatever." So then he walked away. And then he came back and he said, "Well, can I be one of your options?" And I looked at him and I said, No, thank you. I don't have no options. He's like, even if you were, literally his exact words were, "Even if you were lesbian, I'm okay with that. I can deal with lesbians." I think I hear this kind of stuff. I guess this is really everywhere, but especially in certain areas of the world, maybe like Atlanta, Brooklyn, New York, stuff like that. It's just really common, and for men have to accept that somebody that they're interested in who's pretty probably has options, and they're probably women options as well. That's unfortunate, but nonetheless, the answer to that question is yes, I have options, and yes, you do too. Actually, we all have options every single day. We wake up with options. We have the option to stay faithful with our partner. We have the option to, be with one person or be with more than one person, okay? We all have options. We have options to go to work or not go to work. We have options to show up in our relationship truthful or lying, faithful or not, hardworking or not, honest and open about your emotions or not, okay? And I really do feel like everybody has these options, okay? So it's not just me. Just because somebody is attractive doesn't mean that she's going to be unfaithful, okay? And I say this because, people do this. Hold on. That was my song came on, my music came on. Anyway, everybody has options, right? We all wake up every single day with the option of being loyal, being faithful, serving God, worshiping God, or being a upstanding person, citizen, whatever. We all have these same options, okay? And depending on how you choose to show up in your relationships, depending on your relationship with God, or if you believe in God, or B, just in general, it's your choice. You know, if you want to deal with the option in front of you or go get another one. Okay. Now, even when the way that I was raised, number one is our relationship with God is important, right? You're not just disloyal just to be disloyal. Okay. But I posted something a few days ago on my page about God, Jehovah God. Okay. His name is Jehovah. Yahweh. Okay. It says in the Bible that he is a very, very, he's a God that, he's a jealous God, that he requires exclusive devotion. He doesn't want us giving us devotion and worship and loyalty to any other God, false God, deity, you know, pagan gods, all kinds of whatever. Any person, anything, your job, anything that you put over and above that you put a lot of importance to can actually take the place of worshiping God and can be a form of idol worship, right? And so, anyway, if you are a Christian woman, or you at least strive to be a Christian woman, you're going to understand that some jealousy in a relationship is healthy, because even God is jealous, because he requires exclusive devotion, and he wants that. And part of being loyal and loyalty, if you choose to be loyal to someone, is choosing to stay with your partner or your mate or your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, however you want to show up in a relationship, but be loyal, right? That's a choice. That is just a choice. And if you don't want to do that, you decide not to, then that's also a choice. But there are people who have strong character, like my family and my mother, my family, my parents, the way I was raised, my aunt, you know, my family, and people that I see, that I actually grew up with and have seen with my own two eyes. And I say this because I know a lot of people did not get to see two married couples, people staying together. I did. I actually grew up like that. So to me, this is not a foreign idea or a foreign weird concept to stay faithful. Okay? And just because I am considered by some, okay, to be attractive, and I'm not being conceited by any means, I'm just going according to what I am told, okay? You know, and I don't feel like I'm ugly or anything like that, but obviously I get talked to quite a bit. Yesterday I probably had about, I don't know, about 4 or 5, at least 4 strangers, you know, come up and talk to me, okay? For me, and if I'm being completely honest now, it also depends on where you're at, but my mother would tell you that, you know, my whole life I've gotten that. My whole entire life. And it has really nothing, I mean, you could be attractive, but if your energy is not attractive, you know, someone might look at you, but people don't always come up and talk to you. If you have attractive energy, then people will come up and talk to you. Okay? I see people who are not even that attractive, but they have really attractive energy, and they will get men or ladies or men or whatever, the opposite sex, or whoever they want, really. Okay? They will get plenty of attraction. All right? So when you have a good spirit about you, a good energy about you, you will attract. Okay? That's just life. That's just what it is. But my mother would say, you know, I definitely always received a lot of attraction, but it is really up to me with how I decide to, or what I decide to do with that. In my first marriage, my husband that passed away, he hurt me. He absolutely hurt me, and we were not perfect, and he did things. I chose never to retaliate. I chose to never step out on him or mistreat him or try to do like for like, or try to return the favor of anything, of any way that he hurt me. I never did tit for tat. God isn't like that, right? And in turn, it actually made him grow, and it made me grow. Now, I've had attraction my entire life. I've always had men after me, or at least try to get at me. And it never changed how much I loved my husband. It never changed how much I decided to be with him. It never changed my determination to be a faithful woman, being pretty or not. Now, I have noticed that some men who have high confidence level, being with an attractive woman doesn't bother them at all. They're proud of having an attractive woman. Some men, though, who are very, very insecure, that bothers them. It bothers them. And they're insecure, and they think that at any time you could leave because you have options. Well, I have news for you. Even when you have an ugly woman, I'm just saying, quote unquote, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Thinks what everybody thinks is pretty is different. But even if you have, quote unquote, an average chick or a store-bought chick, she buys her boobs, she buys her butt, it doesn't matter. Everybody has options. Every single day, you have options to stay faithful. Everybody can have options. I mean, everybody. Because I'm not for everybody, just like everybody's not for me, right? And it don't matter if you're really skinny or if you're super thick or whatever size you are, whatever, because there are people that are attracted to all of that, right? So if you decide to just be that type of an unfaithful person and choose to look at your options, then that's what you're going to do. Now, obviously, when you're dating for the purpose of getting married. You're dating for the purpose to see if this person could actually be a lifelong partner. That's what I date. I date with the intent for a long-term marriage. I don't date just to have fun. I never have. I wasn't raised that way. Because that, to me, that's playing with someone's emotions. Unless the two of you, this is how I see it. Unless the two of you agree that this is all you want. And if that's your choice, then that's good for you for being honest and for both of you being honest, right? For me, I don't waste time on anybody who is not going to be a long-term option for me. That's number one. So number one, when somebody comes up to me, if there's not an initial attraction or what he's saying to me sounds like hot garbage, like I'm okay with you being lesbian, that right there is telling me you've already slept with how many lesbians and who knows whatever else and how many people they slept with. Like, that's gross to me. I'm not passing any judgment on what y'all decide to do in your life. That's between you and your God or whatever. I don't really care. But for me personally, I don't want to be with another woman. Okay. I don't want that. And I also like, for me, that's not cool. Okay. So, and for you to come off saying that right away to me, that's past thirsty. That's whorish. I mean, that's just how I see it. Okay, that's just how I see it. To come off saying that to me because of probably the way that I look. And I've been told because I have short hair or whatever, that I look like I might be the type that would be okay to be fluid or going both ways or whatever. I don't. I never have. I never will. I only like men. That's it. Okay. Now, I'm very clear about that. And I also am not two ways about that. And I also don't wonder about that. And I also don't have a desire for anything soft. Okay, past that, my God that I have a relationship with has always told me, or has always made it very clear to me, that a good, faithful woman, wife of Proverbs, is she's faithful. She builds up her family. She builds up her husband. Cheating on him or looking for options while in a marriage is wrong. So if a man comes and talks to me, or he's trying to talk to me and he's married, that's a no. That's an automatic no. And for him to think being married, and I've had this happen to me, he literally is like, yeah, I'm married. Is that a problem? Yes, that's a problem. Because I would like to build with somebody, because I require devotion. Exclusive devotion, just like I'm going to be devoted to him or whoever I choose to be with, right? So yeah, that's a problem. And thank you for telling me and letting me know. Like, thank you for letting me know up front. Also, if let's say I'm dating somebody and he decides to get married while we're dating secretly or forced because his mother or his whoever, baby mamas and dramas and people like that, all force this man to marry somebody or even give him money, bribe him, or whatever the case is, whatever that is, I don't care. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, and believe me, I have a very, very, very close friend who had to deal with that, who literally had to deal with that, who was literally with somebody and he got married to somebody else while they were together and then decided not to tell her. And then he got angry when she decided not to pursue a relationship with him. Because why? She can't build. She can't build with anybody like that. Why would she want to try? What can she possibly do but be a side hoe? So some women are okay with being side hoes or being a side chick. Some women are. And that's between them and their relationship with God and their relationship with whoever and how they were raised and whatever they decide to do, whatever they want. That's their moral system. That's who they are, right? The caliber of women that I hang with, that I actually talk to that I actually spend time with on a personal level, like personally, okay? Because I might talk to a lot of different people because of my job or what I do for a living, and I might actually see a lot of different people and women and everything, and I hear lots of different outlooks and views on these types of things, and they're like, well, girl, I prefer him to be married so he don't bother me so much, and I only have to deal with him a little bit, and he's gonna pay this bill and pay that bill. No, I don't roll like that. First of all, a man like that is going to try to control you, or whatever he does want to spend time with you, he's going to expect to have that or whatever. Second of all, you can't build with anybody like that. And lastly, you're giving yourself out and literally just allowing your body to be used for just anybody. Or no, like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, I'm sorry, this body right here cannot just be for anybody, especially if he's married. I mean, no, this body, no. I just, no, this chick and also the women that I hang with would not actually spend time trying to build anything or a relationship of any kind with a married man. Not any of the Christian women that I am associated with. And believe it or not, there are plenty of people like me. Plenty. But depending on where you live and depending on the caliber of women or people that you hang with or wherever you go, your Bible study group or your mosque, or you don't go nowhere, maybe people at your job or on your street, maybe they don't have that same type of, moral system, guidance system, relationship with God. And that's sad, okay? But it is what it is, and that's their truth, but it's not mine. And it's not everybody's reality. It's not everybody's truth. So just because a woman is, attractive and she has options, does not mean she's a cheater right away, or she will cheat. No. But what I am, and what I always have been, and what I will do, it doesn't matter if I'm married to him or not, or dating or not, or whatever. If you treat me bad on a continuous basis, I will leave your life, period. I don't hang around, or me personally, nor the way that I was raised, or with, like my mother, I did not see bad treatment in marriage. I did not see my mother get hit by anybody. I never saw my dad cheating on my mother, or a revolving door of this and that and the third. I did not experience or see toxic, trauma bonding, narcissistic abuse. Okay. We were not perfect, but I did not see those types of things. So I am not attracted to anybody who is going to bring any of that type of garbage, time wasting, peace taking stress into my life. I will literally just walk away and leave. I will disappear. I will literally disappear from that person because I won't tolerate that. I won't. I'm too old for that, number one. And number two, I didn't do it when I was young, and I wouldn't do it now. And so just because I have options does not mean that I am an automatic cheater. Like I'm going to just wake up because I have. So for example, let's say I marry somebody, like my first husband, for example, and then I run into somebody who is quote unquote better looking, or has more money, or he's a, bank president, Ferrari driving, basketball player, whatever, okay? And what, I'm going to lay down with him just because I have him as an option? No. I've never done that. I don't operate like that. I can't be bought. And just because a man is desiring me, or for that matter, any woman, just because you are desiring somebody doesn't mean you can automatically have her. No, life doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Just because you can afford a Ferrari doesn't mean you're going to go out and buy one, right? And I don't operate like that. It takes a lot more than that to secure me as a woman in a relationship. Now, you can take me out on a date, but if you're married, you can't do that either. If you're married and you're with somebody else and you're lying about things, or you don't want to share that you have a whole baby mama, secret babies, or secret situations, or whatever on the side, or whatever you got going on, or whatever, that's not acceptable either. God don't like ugly. That's ugly. That's considered ugly. God don't like ugly. God will always make sure that the truth comes out. He will always make sure that the truth comes out because he sees the intentions. He sees the intentions of people. And when he sees that one of his servants has good intentions, just like he did for Abigail, right? Same thing. He is not going to allow that to, that deception to go on very long. In the Bible, he never allowed it, right? So for me, dealing with these men that come up and talk to me, the reason why, just because I have options, as far as I'm concerned, most of them are not an option. If they're married, take that off the list. If they already come out like a hoe bag to me because they're already talking about hoish things, that's disgusting, and that's not my caliber of man that I want. Okay? And to be honest with you, I'm a very simple kind of person. I'm very simple. I'm the kind of person that, I love my God, and I want somebody else that loves God too. But he has to love God for real. Like in his life, he has to show that he actually loves God. He knows who God is, number one. He doesn't need to be a preacher, okay? But let's get real. He has to at least understand who God is for real. And just a regular steady Eddie person who works. Preferably for me, Jesus Christ was a comforter. And for me, preferably, I like a man who works with his hands, can build some things, can do some things. Maybe he's a creative or whatever. If he does floors, if he builds cars, if he does construction, I don't really care. I like all of that. To me, that's manly. I like a man who's very manly, okay? Like I said, I would take a steady Eddie, loyal, consistent, open, emotionally open man who is a garbage man, delivery truck person, whatever. I don't even care. Like, to me, it's about how he treats me in the relationship, how I'm treated. And if he has somebody else on the side, he's not treating me with respect. That's how I look at it, is disloyal. I consider that to be disloyal because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Now, you best believe that if I have to step out on a relationship, or if I do something like that, you best believe that man would be forewarned. He would absolutely be forewarned. Like, this is about to go down because this marriage bed or this marriage bond is breaking for whatever reason. Okay. And if that's the case, then so be it. But I am not the type of person who's going to just go out there and just because I have options, or just because somebody good looking is in front of my face trying to come on to me, seduce me or something like that, or slinging it, whatever. Okay, no, none of that matters to me. First of all, I don't even want to touch somebody in an intimate way without having actual intimate commitment, like feelings for that person. And to me, if he's married already off the bat, that's somebody who is going to be touching somebody else. Or if he's living with his baby mama and there's already a relationship going on there, to me, that's somebody who is potentially, maybe potentially sleeping with somebody else. Like, I could not be okay. And I do understand there are some extreme circumstances where, and I've heard of this, where you might have a baby mama that you have to live with for some extreme reasons, and maybe your child is special needs and it's been hard, and maybe you're not actually married or even together, or you guys are going in opposite directions, and maybe you guys both know you're both already doing your own thing. I get it. But there's still some things there that need to be separated, and, for that cord to be broken completely. For this person here, this woman, to feel okay with moving forward with a relationship like that, right? And so just because I am presented with a lot of options, or what other people might call as options, right? They're not options to me. And I was actually talking with somebody last night who I met, and he was saying the same exact thing to me. He was saying that the caliber of person, or what people consider to be okay, or, what comes out of people's mouths, sometimes it's like hot garbage. That's what Travis used to say. He used to call it hot garbage. Okay. And it's just like, okay, yeah. And so just because, yeah, I just, and also too, I think a lot of people, they call that, it's actually wrong. It's prejudgmental to think that just because somebody is attractive, that they are automatically a player, or that they're automatically a person who's not going to be faithful. I've had men who have said that to me. They thought, I literally had a guy who was interested in me, and he told me that he never pursued anything with me because he thought that I would cheat on him because I have options. And he was like, and I thought you were too good for me, and I thought this and that. Anyway, he's already long gone. He's moved on. He told me this later on, I guess, whatever, he finally got the courage to tell me this or something. But anyway, I felt so bad for him because I thought, Actually, I would have actually given him a chance 100%. Like, I actually respected him from everything that I saw and that I knew about him. I thought he was a decent guy, right? But he let his own insecurities get in the way. And I know it's because he's, a lot of people have been hurt. They, spend time with the wrong kind of woman who, uses them for their money, takes them for a ride, and lies to them. And, we have actually all, I think most of us, if you have ever had a real relationship, you've been hurt. Most people, most of us are hurt. We've been hurt. I've been hurt in relationships too. But for me, the reason why I'm not with anybody at this moment, even though I could be, and even though I have options, I have plenty of options, okay? But number one is because I've decided to, focus on some things personally in my life, but also I don't want to be controlled. Number one, I don't want to be controlled. I am tired of being controlled by men who pose one way that then you get with them and then they act completely different. All of a sudden they want to tie me down, hold me down, don't want me to go nowhere. They're like, oh my God, they start getting insecure, whatever, and they change up on me. I also don't want to be married to a demon, okay? And when I say a demon, I mean either you act like one, you're on that demon time, or you have some sort of demon attachment or something. I don't know. Okay? Okay, y'all know what I mean by that. Okay? I can't be, my peace cannot be taken like that. So that's not what I want, okay? And I don't want to be controlled. Or, I would still be married if my first husband was alive and didn't have a heart attack at 38. Okay? So, I've never experienced so many different, hurdles, I guess you could say, hurdles with the opposite sex, and especially with the opposite sex feeling comfortable to come towards me, okay? Because they are scared and they are nervous, okay? Because they're scared and they're nervous and they think, oh my God, you're the type, you have options. I just feel like I would never be able to, I'm too boring, I'm too this, I'm too that, or you're going to think you're better than me, or you're going to leave me, you're the type to leave me. I mean, I actually I was in a serious relationship with somebody who literally thought that, and he told me that. That was one of the reasons why we broke up. And it's like actually amazing to me. And I do know why. It's because the way people are raised, and it has to do with traumas. And people, basically, when you don't take time to heal from the hurt that you have experienced in relationships, to where you can show up in a relationship open-hearted, okay, and willing to give of yourself, and knowing that love is a risk. Yes, love is a risk. You do risk getting hurt. And I've been hurt. But I know personally that any hurt that I feel, even including if I have a marriage mate that dies on me, I know that God will help me through that pain. No matter if it's the worst pain possible, whatever, He will help me through that. My God has always helped me through all and every pain, to the point that I could always so that I can always show up with love. Okay? And that's the point. That's the whole point of life, is to be loving, to show love, and to experience love, to accept love, to be able to accept love in your life, right? And that's really what my prayer has always been. So yeah, I've been hurt. I have been hurt. I've seen other women that I've known, very close friends of mine, they've been hurt, right? But if you take time to heal that pain, to grow from it, to learn what you need to learn, so that you either try not to fall into that again, or just forgive. Sometimes it just requires forgiving somebody for being immature, stupid, insecure, disloyal. They stabbed you in the back, whatever they did, right? We're supposed to forgive, okay, so that we can move on and be open-hearted. And so that's the reason why I'm not married right now. That's the reason why obviously there needs to be a true attraction to anybody that I get married to. I'm not going to just get married just for convenience or for money, or if the person has, cars, houses, money, whatever. No, especially where I'm at this point in my life. No. No. Loyalty is number one. Commitment, and somebody who is going to not be insecure by the things that I do as far as what I do in my life. And honestly, I understand everybody has a little bit of insecurities, but it's like, then just for me, I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm never hiding anything I'm doing. I mean, when I've had partners who wanted to, keep my location tracked. I actually like that because it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel like my son tracks me, my friend tracks me. I mean, I'm tracked right now by people and I'm not even in a relationship, right? But I don't mind it. Why? Because I'm not doing anything shisty. I'm not hiding. I'm not lying. I'm not, meeting up with people and having sex in some dark back alleys or whatever. I don't know. Okay. I'm not doing anything. So for me, I prefer a partner who doesn't mind, even when he has time, coming with me to my gigs. Cause I do a lot of gig work, if you want to say, right? Sometimes I make flowers. I mean, I do a lot of things. So I have literally worked weddings. I've literally done makeup for weddings. In the same wedding, I'm also, bringing all the flowers. I've made all the flowers. Or I have sometimes just sold flowers to brides, right? Sometimes I go on location for different things. It could be film, it could be, music video, whatever, or I'm doing whatever it is, and sometimes I like it when I have a partner who takes an interest and wouldn't mind coming with me, helping me carry some stuff in or whatever, and just hanging out or whatever if he has time. Like Travis did that sometimes. I mean, I did that for him. I would go to the shop on days that I could and hang with him and help him run his errands and make the bank deposits and bring him his lunch and stuff like that on the days that I could do that. I don't know, because we just enjoyed each other. So, but the thing is that it's a matter of like, if you like each other and you actually like the person that you're with, you don't mind if they come with you or show up, pop up, whatever, if they want to track you. I mean, I personally don't want to necessarily, I'm never looking to track my man. Like, I need to track you and follow you wherever you go. That's too much effort. Now, I think it's a good idea for safety reasons, for partners to be able to locate each other. I mean, because we all know things happen. But mentally speaking, as far as my mental capacity, I don't have the mental capacity, desire, strength, or, energy, space, or whatever to try to track a man down and all his movement. I don't need to do that to know if my man is cheating on me. I'm going to feel it. God's going to tell me. I'm going to be able to know. And it's going to be like, okay, that's fine. Do you, boo? If you want to go over there, stay over there. Just stay. Just stay right over there. Okay, because I'm not going to force any man's hand or whatever, right? But me personally, I don't mind being tracked because I like knowing that people know where I'm at for, like I said, for safety reasons, So, I mean, I don't know. But anyway, I just think it's interesting because I was actually speaking to two different, like I was talking with one of my people that I did makeup on yesterday, one of the ladies that I did makeup on. We were talking about this thing, and also someone I met last night, and it was the same thing. Like, some people, it depends on where their level of healing, where they're at, how healed they are, and also how secure they are as a person, will really dictate what you will allow in a relationship and the type of person you will go after. Okay? So if you yourself, you are a faithful woman and a faithful person, someone who can be, who can be committed, you're going to look for that same type of person who wants to be committed, okay? And you're going to look for that same caliber of person. And as soon as you detect anything less or whatever, you're not going to go for that. You're not going to go for that, okay? So do you have options? Yeah, you do. So do I. We all have options. I don't care how cute or ugly or pretty or handsome or fine or good looking or whatever, young, old. I don't care about any of that you are or whatever. We all have options. Every single day we have options. Okay? But it's how you decide you want to show up and the kind of character that you have to decide what you want to do about those options. Okay? Bye.